Namaste. Welcome to the Fabian program. No, just another little video here. Today is a beautiful day, and I'll be discussing something I hope to try and elucidate in not such a complex way. I'll turn this music down. This is actually Sanjay Mishra, Bark in Time, from an album called The Blue Incantation, which I purchased over in Nepal. So, coming back here, back home, back to Australia, recent events have brought up some very awakening situations in my family. Our sewage pipe exploded. Shit you not. I shit you not, the sewage pipe exploded. I came home, actually I was in the city, and I rushed home because I had to use the bathroom, right? I'm getting somewhere with this story, by the way. I came home and there was a note on the seat lid of the toilet, and it had informed me, written in by the hand of my father, sorry, you can't use this toilet, the sewage pipe has exploded. These old aqueduct type pipes made of clay somewhere under the ground, deep beneath the grass and dirt and soil and clay between my house and the next door neighbors, cracked, and so we've had to go elsewhere to use the bathroom. But the big issue here was that the council, when told about this situation, claimed it was not their responsibility. Yarra City Water. So, my father, with connections to plumbers, was able to get them around to assess the situation. They couldn't do anything, I think because it was outside of our own property. Cut a long story short, this whole situation, this hole in the ground, it was going to cost my parents $20,000 to repair. $20,000. Yarra City Council didn't want to know anything about that. So it's a lot of money, and it's also financial shit, and when I heard of this news, I wasn't too shaken by it, because I guess I felt sympathy for my parents, but at the same time, this is the perils of having a property, this is the fluctuations of having money. It goes up and down, it goes up and down. My mother went to visit my guru, who I think out of his grace had something to do with this. He lit a candle. He had a candle in his hand and lit it and said a prayer for my family. And then the next day my father gets a phone call, and Yarra City Valley Water are happy to pay for the sewage pipe explosion. Wow, what a lift of weight off our shoulders. Incredible news, incredible news. The thing that really freaked out my parents was how, from such a short amount of time, $20,000 was at stake, and now it cost them nothing. And I saw this and their sadness when there was this knock on the door, $20,000, a little twist of fate, and their happiness when this was lifted. And it was amazing to see, how, not to objectify them in particular, but how easy it is for us to be knocked about by the oceans, by the tides by the waves of change. So my guru in His grace, His stillness. There's a beautiful message here, you know, that money doesn't control everything, and you know, this is when I began to extrapolate and philosophize that so long as we assume that money controls everything, we are going to be controlled by the money. What is important in this dire situation to recognize is the movement of grace, a curious grace in this instance. I think what all situations in life really push us towards is a correct alignment with grace. It's like something is being molded by the invisible hand of the potter. And this isn't just like fantastical thinking, you know, it's not just a matter of saying, the Lord giveth and the Lord can taketh away. I think it's a lot more subtle than that. It's a lot more perceptible than that. It's felt intuitively. Now, grace is something the ego can't really stand, but at the same time it's something that the ego, something that the person absolutely loves. Why? Because grace has the ability to pour forth such a blessing upon someone, and that blessing has the potential to lift away the veil of the ego. Grace can appear as beauty, in the form of beauty. Grace can appear, you know, as it did for my parents, in the form of, you know, give us $20,000, you don't have to give it to us anymore. What a twist, you know. I think ultimately what grace wants from us is everything, is the complete submission, is the knees, falling to the knees, and accepting that there are some things our mind can't understand, mind can't grasp. When the mind tries to grasp, then the place of grace has been replaced by the grasping mind. Excuse me, I just shut this door, someone's coming home. So, I guess I just wanted to say in this video, you know, be wary of those who are putting explanations onto the mystery. You know, it's the evolution of a primal cognitive disposition to try and have to understand things. And if we can accept and live without a dependency upon the mind to grok, as this, you know, then we can open ourselves to deeper and deeper states of grace and divine unfoldment. The church, they have taken your power, and have assumed this space of the interpreters of grace. So has science, enslaving the rational mind, has taken the space of the divine interpreters of grace appointed by God, you know. We have to be wary of this, because it is ultimately a taking away of our own power and our own connection that we have to the entire universe. Put yourself in alignment, and even if you don't put yourself in alignment, the universe will put you in alignment. It will give you terrible situations in which you have to submit to it. It will give you beautiful, gratuitous, gracious situations in which you willingly submit to. Either way, this game is about crucifying the mind, crucifying this rational tendency we have to try and, you know, Jung described it as a defense mechanism, intellectualization. And I think that opinions form like this as well. So there is, for me, nothing really more to say about that. May grace fall like a feather from the sky into your lives in not such a harsh way. Or if it's meant to, then may it do so. But please learn from the life lessons you have to see the assimilation of grace into your life. That is all for me. Namaste.